I think one of the hardest things is when you put something out into the world at first, no one really seems to notice it at all. And and deep down inside, you know how much time you spent filming a video or editing it and finally posting it, and in the end just to not see any results. And honestly, I didn't know how mentally exhausting that would feel. It was just so many days every morning I would wake up all excited to check my phone and see if my followers grew at all. And when the number just stayed very little or the same, and when the number just stayed the same, I couldn't help but feel disappointed. And it wasn't like I was only driven by number of people, but I always just thought that the more videos I posted, then the more followers I would get. But sometimes it's not always so linear. And I've come to realize that oftentimes there's this thing called valley of disappointment where you're in this phase where you're not really seeing any of the results, but you're putting in so much work just to get everything started. And that's the hardest part because you have to keep working and just trusting the process, even though you're not receiving any validation of what you're doing is actually accumulating to anything. And so, in a way, it feels like you're putting so much of your effort out there and you're not really getting much back in return. And online, what we see is mostly people who have already broken through that beginning phase, that valley of disappointment. But the truth is, we don't see the months or the years or the true sheer amount of time that they have spent and the amount of effort that they put into making their breakthrough moment actually happen. And I think social media is geared in a way that it shows us the things that we want to see, like the results, but it doesn't really show us the process of how the people get there. And so that process is what often gets ignored. And so when we don't see, and so when my own work got ignored, it felt abnormal in a sense because everywhere I saw everything people did online, it just happened to work. And for me, it didn't. So it kind of gave me this sense of feeling of and that ultimately is what also contributed to being mentally exhausting for me. And to be honest, that phase, that beginning valley of disappointment is honestly one of the most normal things in any sort of project or journey that you're going through. That beginning phase where you're starting to build and starting to accumulate your skills and just grow as a whole, that part is essential. And the people who are successful, I have no doubt, people are already and the people who are already successful, they also went through the exact same things that you went through and you and I went through. And the people who are successful, they went through the exact same things that me and you are going through right now. And it's only that they were able to climb past that and to truly just show who they are now, how they got from this beginning lower point to where they are now. And so those people are the kinds of people who don't quit, who, when they face challenges and are in that valley of disappointment, they just keep on going. They trust the process, and because they put in the hard work and the effort to actually make it happen, they did. And I think most people quit not because they're not capable of doing what it is that they want to do, but it's just that they don't see the rewards fast enough to want to keep on going. So essentially, it's like they're only motivated by the results. And if you are, you probably won't be consistent with what you're doing because essentially, in the very beginning, you're not going to be seeing any rewards or validation at all. And for me, I started posting a year ago, but I never really had one big moment where just everything took off for me. And that's totally normal. And I know that this is just part of the process. I'm still in that building phase and I'll continue to improve and be better. And so I think that in the beginning of building anything meaningful, there's usually no evidence that you will succeed. It's just it's just continuous effort and hard work and just no sense of knowing the results or the accomplishments that you want to get. You have to keep going before proof shows itself. And honestly, I think that's what belief actually is. It's knowing that you're capable, knowing that you can, and that you'll just keep going. The results will come, but believing that you can get there and just get past those challenges and those days when you feel like you're not really getting anything back in reward, just going past that and learning to truly love the process is what will get you past that starting point. And this doesn't just apply to creating content. This can also apply to building a successful career, trying to self-improve and become a more disciplined person. All of these things, they take time. And that beginning phase is the most painful. But once you get past through it, you'll see that the compounding effects of the things that you thought were boring or the hard work, it will one day pay off. But the amount of time that it takes is something that's unpredictable. And so just trust the process of it all. So, to be honest, posting when no one is watching is mentally exhausting, but perhaps feeling that part is just part of the entire process. And every person who eventually built something meaningful went through this phase where no one cared about it yet. They just kept on going and they just believed that one day they could go very far with what they were doing. And maybe the real challenge is learning how to continue before the world gives you a reason to.